We have the one, oh, Zabi. Zabi isn't new to non-duality, but he's new to uh, the Zen bitch slap version of non-duality. Yeah. Uh, all right. Well, let's see. Well, just as a precursor, as a basis, we're looking at non-duality as a fact. Yeah. And the message isn't about non-duality. The message is about duality. We're questioning what's assumed to be a fact from the fact, not questioning what's assumed to be a fact from the assumed fact, but hopefully questioning the assumed fact from the fact. Yeah, because there is no non-duality. It's That's what we are. Yeah, we're not of thing. We're not of two. So, like Jesus sometimes purportedly said, which I like a lot, which is, you're in this world, but you're not of this world. So if you follow it, he presents something that you can recognize easily. You seem to be in a world, and then there's a negation of that by the statement, and you're not of the world. Yeah. So it's not disqualifying the world. It says destroy the world or whatever. It's just pointing out by negating something that we seem to be very familiar with, and to put the statement of, and you're not of it. Yeah. So everyone has a feeling of being in the world, but then we believe there's a huge assumption that we're of the world. He negates that. Yeah. He's not negating what's happening. He's negating how what's happening is being used to imply something. Yes? It's so beautiful, really. Because he says, oh, because everyone, hey, yeah, we're in a world, seemingly, let's say, it's appearing to be true, but we're not of the world. Yeah? So if you want to look at some of the qualities of what we call our experience, obviously separation is the basis. Yeah, we think we're a long-lasting, independent, separate thing amongst a lot of other long-lasting, independent, separate things. There's time, obviously, involved. There's a finite amount of time. Everything that we see, feel, taste, touch, smell comes to go. Yeah. So these things are being in the world, so to speak. But he's saying we're not of the world. So if you could just look at it from that point of view, then we're not of separation. We're not of time. Yes? We're not of a lot of stuff. Why does it make a difference? Well, it makes a huge difference because you're not going to travel lighter in the world thinking you're of the world. You've got to get a quality that you're not of the world to travel lighter in the world. Yes, so all the other strategies of trying to travel lighter as Paul, they don't work well. They demand a lot of maintenance and a lot more work. It's more and more and more work, not less and less and less work, because we're trying to live as if we're not in the world, as something that's of the world. Yeah? Now, this is the beauty of non-duality. Non-duality, really, if you're in a bad situation and you try to grab non-duality to help you out of it, it's probably not going to offer a hand. Yeah. Because it's going to leave you in your own devices, so that hopefully you see that they're not your devices. While they're being used all the time, you can't see it. Yeah. Yeah. You can't get to the juggler as long as you're juggling. Yes. So you throw an extra ball in there, it stops the whole juggling, and then you can see the juggler has no clothes, like the emperor has no clothes. If the juggler can adapt the ball to the system, yeah, all that knowledge is reinforcing the idea of being the juggler. Non-duality pauses that. Yeah, you get left with your own devices. It sounds like what this person is saying is going over your head. You don't understand. Why doesn't he slow down? I only understand a monotone with a couple of loving gazes and long pauses. He's not letting me, absorb what's being offered exactly because the message isn't to you. We're not speaking to Zabi or Skylar. Basically, the challenge is to speak through Zali and get through Zali, not to him or Zabi, and not to Skylar, but through Skylar to what we are. Yeah, that's the target. I don't want you to think you know non-duality. I don't. That's like a big. You know how much weight that's going to produce? That you're going to have to get undone. You know what I mean? It's like the heaviest weight of all, thinking you know non-duality. You can only be non-duality. You can't know it. Yeah? Non-duality is a fact. It's not another practice. It's not something, all right, I'm in this practice. Let's back up non-duality, attach it. I got a little fucking toe. Put it in there. All right, now I've got Buddhism and non-duality or recovery and non-duality. No, it's not like that. Non-duality is a fact, and the fact is what we're of. Yeah? We are of the fact of non-duality. We are of it. It's not a topic that we're trying to fit around and grok or understand. It's not a topic like that. Yeah? At least the way I see it. It implies it's a negation of what we're assuming to be so that you'll find out what's so, and what's so is of non-duality. Yeah? It's the absence of two. It's the absence of subject-object, of yes and no, of this and that. It's the absence of it. We can't describe the indescribable, but you can describe that which is taking itself to be the truth. Yeah, you can describe that. You can understand about what you're not. You can describe what you're not. You're experiencing what you're not all day. Yeah. But you can't turn that device of knowing to what you are. It will fail you, and that's how it succeeds, yeah? If you keep trying to get non-duality, you'll never get it. That's a success, yeah? You failed miserably. That's how it succeeds, yeah? So of course it's going over your head. Your head doesn't need to have a very incredible, subtle, novel idea called non-duality. It's going to use it to fuck you really well. Yeah, you'll have new whipping posts called awakening and enlightenment. You'll just be now more tortured than ever. Because why am I not awakened? Or why is he enlightened? And yes, it just goes on and on. And it's a perfect illustration of what we're talking about. Whatever we are brought into contact with, let's say the idea of enlightenment, something claims it. And what does that which claims it, what does it do with enlightenment? It uses it to cause suffering. Yeah? Which is the definition of enlightenment is the cessation of all suffering. The mental state uses it to cause more suffering. Yes? What more do you need to know? Just take that. Awakening. Word's pretty nice word, yeah? Awakening, whatever. Look what it's happened with it. A lot of people are driving themselves crazy. They would have been better off never hearing the term awakening. They wouldn't be, because now it's reinforcing their insane idea they're not awake to begin with. And they're now working hard for awakening, all the while being the aspect of awakeness. Yeah. That's the message. The message we're sharing is to negate the first message we're constantly believing now from the head. The message that I'm a long-lasting, independent, separate entity. Yeah. That's in a lot of fucking trouble, and I gotta get out of it. Yeah? Not understanding that what reinforces the in is trying to get out of it. Yeah? Ramana Maharshi put it so beautifully. Hey, There's a presupposing. So there's the ingredient of time in the first statement. There's a presupposing of a non-existent thing. What's it being supposed? It's being supposed to be the existent thing. The thing is causing its own existence. Yeah. So in that case, that thing that's causing its own existence wants to get salvation. Yeah. For the thing, which is inherently non-existent. Yeah. So what happens? Well, this is what happens. Your spiritual practices themselves are reinforcing the non-existent thing. How can they destroy it? Yeah? How can they? First of all, you can't destroy a non-existent thing. It doesn't exist. To go to war, there's got to be something to go to war with. You can't go to war against a non-existent army. Yeah. So what are you doing? You're really going into war with yourself as yourself. You're in the dualistic war of subject-object. You are. Because you think you're a subject, let's say, and you're thinking about going on a 3-week meditation retreat. The subject's thinking, oh, I'm going to get freed from a lot of this fucking physical suffering. I can't stand this body. It's a drag. I want to fly and soar like a real eagle, but I got this freaking body. So yeah, I'm signing up for 3 weeks, 15 hours a day meditating. That'll be no problem whatsoever. It's going to further my spiritual progress. Yeah, so you sign up, send you $2,000. Now you arrive there thinking you're the subject, but now you're going to experience yourself as an object. So after the first day, your fucking ass hurts. Yeah? And so now you've given up the little pillow with the nice little square rug, and now you're trying to acquire other pillows to lift the left cheek, because the only thing you're thinking of is your fucking left cheek. Yeah? So now you got the subject idea, which is just an idea, has led you to a place where the discomfort of the body is so fucking pronounced. The body doesn't want to sit down for 13 hours. It doesn't. Yeah. Now the subject of head says, I've got to sit down for 13 hours because there's no way I'm going to escape this fucking place unless I do a whole lot of stuff. And therefore, you're coming along with that because you're the vehicle of doing. So I'm going to do some damn meditation and your cheek's going to have to take it. Then you walk away from the meditation hall, and now you're the object. You're going, what the fuck? I want to leave right now. The food sucks. I can't stand this bed. See, we don't get the subject-objectness of us because we're pictured as a singular body. Do you see that? The activity of us is completely dualistic, but we're pictured as a singular body. So the image lends a unit, a sense of oneness that isn't deserved, because the real activity that we're engaged as is two-ness. Yeah? So let's look at that. We can, because what's before that is what we are. Yeah? So if something is already here, it can probably see shit that has to arrive to be here. Yes? If you're already here, you're probably going to recognize everyone who comes in because you're already here. Yeah? You're not like the fifth person. You're here before everyone. So now, all right, so now you can see the mental activity. Why? Because you're not of a mental activity. You're of awareness, yeah? So the awareness is a field. It's there. Now you start recognizing stuff that you used to look from, truly, yeah? you used to look from a manufactured sense of being a long-lasting, independent, separate entity. That's where most of our day starts from. That's why we live in interpretation, because we're based on an interpretation, yeah? We're based on being a thing, yeah? That's an interpretation. And therefore, we take off from there. So we're not seeing that. We're looking from it, yeah? But the possibility of seeing it is always there. But really, we believe the seeing starts as us looking, but it isn't. The seeing is there before we ever come up. Yeah. So you can see what you're called to be. You can see it from what you are. You may not think it's what you are. You may call it awareness or something like that, but it's inevitably it's gonna dawn on you, you're that. By it dawning on you what you're not, you're gonna find out what you are. And you'll realize the failure of trying to find out what you are as what you're not. You'll recognize it, yeah? It'll be done, completely finitoed, yeah? That topic is pushed over. It doesn't get reviewed. It's not debated. Yeah. You're absolutely clear you're never going to get it. It's not an experience because it's in a rarefied position. You are it. Yes. So obviously, if you believe there's distance between you and that, you're in a delusionary state. Or there's a delusionary state that's professing to be you. Yeah? If you put time or distance in that which has no time or distance, what do you get? You don't get a path to God. You get a path that you're on. Yeah? That's the emphasis. It's you. You, you, you. Yeah? So in seeing what you're not, which is activity, that's all it is, content, just constantly active, yeah? By seeing what you're not, you get a sense of what you are. So we were talking about it in recovery. In recovery, in the community, people get a free sample quite a lot, all different kinds of people. And we call it a pause, P-A-U-S-E, not P-A-W-S, pause. And in that pause, it's completely still. And so you can see everything's moving, yeah? Yeah, completely. You finally can see activity. Activity that was called a stationary, long-lasting, independent noun, you see it as verb. It's of a verb nature because you've stopped. The whole agitation, yeah, you're before it. And then you can see that which you're not. Yeah? Now, it may not last long in time, but its effects can be incredibly timeless. Yeah? See, that which wants to get a pause or have a pause is what's paused. Yeah? It doesn't get the pause, it's stopped. The button, it's going, but you're not going with it. So you see it, not from it, yeah, but from what you are. You see it from awareness, not using awareness to look for awareness. There's awareness looking at what's not, what it's not. Yeah? It's totally different, completely different. And it shows you the absurdity of constantly trying to look for what you are as what you're not. You know, it's done, it's over, finito. Yeah? So, yeah. All right, Mike.
Anybody want to raise their hands? Skylar? Skylar. Hi again, Skylar.
Yeah. So what I'm getting at is that we're like pure awareness, but when we don't think of ourselves that way, like we're of this world, like we're not like animals, or if we think we're not like animals, like pure hearted, and then that's what trips us up. We actually have the potential to be as pure as animals. It's like the way society has constructed, or whatever, I'm not a historian, but like the way it's been for a while since Jesus, like we have adopted like unpure qualities. And so that is another, those unpure qualities is what makes us unpure even more so, thinking that we're not just pure awareness or pure hearted beings.
Well, I'm not into the pure awareness thing.
Okay.
Say awareness. I mean, because it sounds like there's different variations of awareness. Like, I have a leather jacket and then a raincoat. But yeah, but no, it's awareness. Yeah, and
I get it, because we
there's a
have duality.
recognition you're not the thing that believes it has an ability to be pure. See,
Mm-hmm.
the thing isn't pure. It can express a lot of things, but it's not those things. Yeah. It's an
Mm,
expression, so to speak. Yeah. So,
mm,
yeah, that's how
mm.
I see it.
But what if it's not like becoming that? It's pure awareness is just like another way to describe the same thing that you're describing, just a different
Yeah,
word.
pure, it's whatever works for you. Yeah. But pure tends to make it seem like it's a different strain of awareness. I like dog shit
Yeah.
awareness. You
I tend to gravitate towards the dog shit awareness too,
Yeah,
just like
because see,
coming back.
the pure, it's sort of
Mm-hmm.
like testing gold. How pure is it? 98%, and then those super fine scales you'd have to use to weigh all that shit. I think is uh, not useful. To tell you the truth.
Yeah,
Basically,
that's.
just there's a loss of interest in the idea of Paul enough to travel lighter as Paul. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. So you don't really care about this shit.
mm-hmm. Okay, I'm just playing angel's advocate.
Yeah, yeah. I like. Yeah, yeah. I'm always interested. I like dancing with the mind. Yeah, of you. Yeah, it's good.
Mm.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm right and you're wrong. I'm just sharing my, because I think that's my job here. So I'm just putting out how I see it. So, yeah, it's amazing how much interest I've lost in all of it.
Yeah, it's the
It is,
last
really.
answer.
I mean, if I would have had a choice, I would have kept a little more, basically for my career, so I'd have an interest in it more than I do.
Yeah, you could
Would have been
totally
helpful, but
be.
I wasn't controlling the vacuum power.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you were, you would be like young grasshopper Skylar. You
yeah,
are not pure yet you will become.
that's right. That's right. I can forecast you're going to have an arduous time. But when you arrive at the other shore on having never left, you'll be super pissed off at me. But whatever.
I already
I'm not
am. No, I'm
uh
just kidding.
I'm not shooting for the stars. I would just like to see people travel lighter. And I don't think it's brought about by doing and having. I think it's brought about by seeing and coming to some conclusions. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do. You saw if you really uh like eternal hope covers things up sometimes. Yeah, if you just see things how they're really demonstrating, you'll come to some conclusions, you know. And if you're willing to put your money on that square, I have my own experiences, it pays off. Yeah. So you realize uh, this is more about a loss of interest, or let's say a redirection of interest and attention, more than any superfine, pure focusing or concentration of interest. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm with you. I left the pure awareness meeting today because it got boring.
There you go. Yes. Yeah.
I
Dog
was
shit
just
awareness. At least you have to look at the bottom of your shoe every few minutes. Yeah. So that's important. Because you never know when you're going to be stepping in it. Yeah. All right, honey. Remember, you're a lifetime member of Zen Bitch Slap.
Namaste, baby.
Yeah.
Thanks, Skylar. Anybody else want to raise their hand? I do like you guys adding that contrast between pure and dog shit. So like that's all that pure meant, right? Was just dog shit, you know. But then you can see how people, you know, have to like try to understand what does dog shit mean. Do I have to roll in it? And so then you go back to like, no, it's just pure, like only.
Yeah. I've been stepping in some pure dog shit lately with this puppy. Yeah. It seemed it was preceded by a lack of awareness. And then I stepped in some dog shit awareness.
Then you have to beat yourself to correct that problem.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean, you got to have compassion and laughter with it, right? Like when you're talking about your left butt cheek hurting, and if you're identified as the one that has a left butt cheek hurting, so you get into like, you know, repression and denial, and so, you know, next thing you know, you're, you know, a bottomed out addict, all because you had a left butt cheek that hurt at one time.
well, the thing is, let's say you have your left butt cheek hurting, and then you're in the meditation hall, and some people have just given it up. They're laying down, they're snoring, and now a pride comes up. So now you're thinking you're better than them, but you're really wishing you could just fucking lay down. So now pride with a nice ingredient called spiritual pride is forming, and so I mean,
The laughter part I'm talking about.
and you know, your rationale is you're going to arrive at awakening before they are because they were sleeping. But in fact, they were much better off than you because they were chilled out. I told you about the one with the retreat. Remember that time? I was at a meditation retreat, and it was a strange one because there was people there for longer, different time periods. So people could stay for like 3 months. You could do for a week. So I think I was going 2 weeks or something, 2 to 3 weeks. And we used to call this place the Upper Middle Way. It was a very nice retreats place, you know. And I mean, the room I was in with this other person was better than the room I lived in. And they had eagle claw bathtub. It was really sweet. So, and beautiful food 3 times a day. This wasn't like a retreat in Thailand. This was like well-catered retreat. And so you'd have a person you'd speak to. So after about 11 days, at 6 o'clock was dinner. So between 5 and 6, people were like grazing, you know, walking around the hills, doing walking meditation. And then you'd realize it's getting late, so you start moving. So this one night I got there first, yeah? And I walked in, and they had a big buffet, and for the first time, they had ice cream out, yeah? So I looked at the ice cream, and I went right up there and got a bowl of it, went back to my seat. So I was going to eat ice cream first because I had a fear it wouldn't be any left and forget about the dinner. And so then I watched all these saintly people, and they had their little, walking in. And as soon as their eyes saw the ice cream, the results of the retreat were out the window. Their eyes started moving, and I could see them. I'm going to get a bowl now, then get the dinner, then get another. All the peace was gone. The desire kicked in, and they were just dragged through at the buffet. I watched it all. It was amazing. So, I think we put too much effort trying to change something that is really, really resistant to change. Yeah, it's programmed already to fulfill a mission, and it's not to be a chariot of the gods. Yeah, really. Yeah, you're not gonna it's not gonna be you and innate people are gonna be standing on your spiritual back and you're gonna transcend. The body is gonna, bye-bye. Yeah. So I just think, all right, let's do what we need to do and then move on, Move on. Be free from the need to be liberated, really. That's the real liberation. Yeah? Because that which needs to be liberated isn't you. It isn't. Yeah? So you lose the need to be, you're freed from the need to be liberated. You're liberated from that need. Well, this is what happens. You're liberated from a lot of assumed needs when you see what you're not. Because what you're not isn't a long-lasting, independent, separate entity. It's conditions based on conditions. Yeah? It's constantly dependently originating based on circumstances and shit. In other words, the selfing gets made up all day. Yeah, tons of ingredients. There's no peace there. There's no unifying nothing. Yeah? It's based on circumstances that are based on programming, that are based on unconscious habits, samskaras, all this shit, all kicking up. Yet we picture ourselves as this independent thing who's like the captain of the ship, which is ridiculous, yeah? You can't go on the journey that takes no time. You can't go on the journey that takes no time. You can't. It's impossible. You're a movement. Every gesture you make is of time. And the solution, what we are is timeless. You can't use time to arrive at timelessness. That would be time. Try it. It will serve you by failing. Go ahead. I was so close to non-duality. No, you fucking weren't. You can't be far from non-duality. Therefore, you can't be close to non-duality. This is not a call to arms. It's a disarming message. Yeah? What would happen if all the drives that are coming from an assumed unokayness would be dismissed? Maybe your pursuit of happiness would be a leisurely walk because you wouldn't be looking to get happy, you'd be expressing contentment and satisfaction. Yeah? You would be bringing what you were looking for through your day into your day instead of trying to acquire it through a lot of doing and having, which when you take it back, it seems to its value goes down, it demands a lot of shit, and it seems like it gotta go out the next day and the next day and the next day. I've gotta prove that I'm fucking okay against tons of mental evidence that I'm not. I mean, that case, you can't win it. Yeah? Really, I don't see how you can arrive at what you are but by seeing what you're not. Really, I can't. Because it's not an arrival that has distance and time involved. The arrival is recognizing something. Yeah? It can't be what you are because what you are is unrecognizable. So it has to be what you're not. Yeah? Because you can recognize that. Yeah? You recognize it from the unrecognizable instead of trying to fucking recognize the unrecognizable but from what we're not. It's just a correction that never needed to be made. Never. Because nothing's changed. You have never been a long-lasting, independent, separate entity. You have been appearing seemingly as one, but you have never been one. You will never be one. Yeah? That's not what we're of. We are not of things that come and go. We are not of something that showed up and disappears. Yeah? We're not of it. Now we can have tons of dramas about being in it, but the drama isn't rooted in being of it. No way. Yes? So that's just how you travel lighter. Yeah? That's how you travel lighter. It comes from the of. Yeah? The ofness comes into what we're in and allows a traveling lighter through what we're in. But I don't care how much we're in it, we're not of it. Yeah? That needs to be clear. Because if you mix the two up, yeah, you're going to try to use what you use in the in to arrive at the of, and you are already at the of. That's why it doesn't work. Yeah? That's the whole assumption. That's all that's being implied by non-duality. Completely. You are what you're looking for. That's what I heard anyway. That's how unique it was. It wasn't, all right, well, obviously, you are what you are, and you need to purify a lot of this, a lot of that. No, the message of non-duality is, hey, you are what you're looking for. What? Yeah. Yeah. The seeker is the sought. What? Yeah. Why? So it would throw a wrench in the logic. Because the seeker obviously doesn't believe it's the sought, or there wouldn't be such a seeking, would there? Yeah? So you throw the little wrench in its works. So the seeker maybe hits the wrench and there's a pause and it sees it not from the seeking, but it sees it from the sought. Yeah? It sees it and it recognizes the failure of seeking for what you are. It recognizes it. It becomes clear as day, and there's the end of that story. And then you move on to other pastures. You don't keep digging the same hole. Yeah? You know, and some people are really keen in trying to help themselves. But the greatest way to do that is to serve others. Isn't that interesting? Why is that? Why do people get more value out of service than they do promoting themselves? Why? Because the self they're promoting isn't them. The service pulls you out of you, and then that's better for you. Yeah? Who would have thought? I've got to know the truth. No, you don't. You better realize you ain't going to know the truth. You're not. You have no fucking idea. That's the truth. Yeah. All right, whatever. Mike.
John Reed, John R.
John R. John R.
Don't forget,
Okay,
Paul, you can
sorry, I
put
forgot
it
to
on
unmute.
speaker view. Put it on speaker
Yeah,
view and
yeah,
you'll be able to see him.
yeah. Hey, Paul, how you going? It's good to hear you. I got a couple of questions, so I don't really know how to put this. I have a friend who is in emotional, what's called post-traumatic stress, possibly, and they're alluding to, the fact that they feel they might be better, or it might be better for everybody concerned if they ended their living. Yeah. Where do we go? Short of me tying these people to chairs and putting matchsticks in their eyes and showing them a Paul Hedderman video because I believe everybody that hears it would wake up, but maybe I'm wrong. Am I being of a disservice to keep encouraging them to listen to you? Or is this, I mean, I hear, am I playing God? And my thought is, if this event took place, I'd kind of be okay. But there are other people involved, children, grandchildren, you know. It's an easier status quo for this incident not to happen. Yeah. It's a short-term solution for
Yes, yeah.
okay.
But you see, again, people have their destinies as an action figure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there's a point, and it's not written in stone, but you arrive at a point where uh, all you can do is just hold the space, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
When
realize that your limited understanding is quite limited and it can't be applied really to this situation. You don't know what's really going on. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
I,
I mean, I run into it, or I have in the past with, with people in addiction. And,
yeah.
uh, I have observed strange things in it where the person who wants that other person the most to get sober never usually leads them to the sobriety. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
usually hear it from a stranger or something. And
Yeah.
it's just strange. It's just a trippy thing. So I would ask, as who is this John that's concerned with all this, and just
I
see
hear
what
you.
comes up on that end. Yeah.
I hear you. And, that brings me to the playing God.
Yeah.
And as I said, John's pretty, I don't want, hey, my ambivalent is probably not the right word. I'm just saying there are other family members that will
Yeah.
be less ambivalent or far more involved with that if it happened. And just the damage caused by that. I get, yeah, hey, it'll be what it'll be.
But a lot of
Yeah,
this goes on. A lot of it. Now we may have ideas that it shouldn't and stuff, but it does.
yeah,
Yeah. A lot of people run into dead ends, seemingly.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And I had my brother killed himself and my sister killed herself. My older brother and sister. And
okay,
from watching that happen, a conclusion I came with was, they were outmatched by circumstances.
yeah,
Something overwhelmed them, and their system couldn't adapt. They tried, and then they failed. And I have quite a lot of compassion for people who go through that because I've watched it. I've watched people who life overwhelms them. Yeah.
Yeah.
circumstances. They had a dependency. They believed they had the American dream. Then a divorce comes. They lose the money. They lose the access to the ski lodge and shit like that. No one's calling them anymore because they're divorced, and then they start drinking, and it's sort of like watching a snowball going downhill. It picks up speed and momentum. And a lot of times there's an exit through grace, and a lot of times there isn't, or the person
Yeah.
doesn't see it, the exit. Yeah. And it takes its course and it ends in that situation. Yeah.
I guess for me, it's like I hear you say, I'm throwing the ball everywhere so I can't miss.
Yeah.
Um, the challenge for me is just getting them to sit in front of your videos,
Well, that's not that, because it doesn't matter. You can bring the horse to water, but it
Yeah, yeah,
doesn't mean they're going to drink it.
yeah,
So I think just that feeling that's before that, and not the direction or the drive, that feeling is valuable for them. Yeah. That
yeah.
you're concerned about them and there's a love there. That's to me is the holding the space. Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks very much and love your work, man. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you, John. Yes.
Thanks, John. Yeah, and like that just so rocks to be concerned, but not for what they're not. That liability that the person feels that wants to kill themselves. That somebody else is going to be in pain, and that's supposed to, that can help somebody not do it in some circumstances, through you know through that possibility of awakening. But the extra liability that just adds to the person that wants to kill themselves, as opposed to, hey, it's not really of concern that what you're not, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
just like been the biggest difference. I've tried to kill myself a couple times in the past, and and I've had of course had people just say that, don't you know what pain you're going to cause or whatever, and that that road didn't work for me. So I'm
No.
sure your friend is well
Well,
on his
John, you
way.
can always stay after the meeting, and there's some people that may have experiences with that. You
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
I've had
So that's
as
how.
you say, I've had
Hmm?
experiences before and they weren't so successful.
Hmm.
Or
Well,
maybe
who
they were,
knows? They may have been
I don't know.
successful in
That's
some
right.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. Always, John. You're a lifetime member of Zen Bitch Lab. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
I feel
Before
that.
you die and after you die.
Yeah. I'm already dead. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Linda has her hand up.
Linda.
Um, I don't have a question. I just wanted to comment. I'm feeling a lot of love for John and Paul right now. I obviously didn't know John was going through this, and I didn't know Paul had lost a brother and sister. So I I just want to say I'm holding space for anyone going through this, and it is what it is. But you know, I'm just feeling a connection, and I don't have words, but I love you both. I love everyone here, but I love you so much. As Judith was saying earlier, we love you, Paul. We love you, John. We love everyone. And I know I'm just making no sense right now, but I'm glad to be here and to be part of this kind of uh, communication. So thank you. Thank you for holding the space, for everyone who's holding the space, especially
Thank you,
Paul.
honey. That was very nice. Yeah. Yes. Anyone else?
Thanks, Linda. Anybody else want to raise their hand? Oh, Sundara's hand is up. Sorry, Jack, we're up. Sorry, Sundara, was your hand up long?
I think you lost him, Mike.
His video is black. I don't know if he lost lighting or. There, now it's back.
He's come back.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't unmute. Hey, Paul, it's great to see you.
Good to see you, my friend.
Geez, I was really enjoying the meditation quiet there for a while. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But this topic actually, well, I'm okay. The topic of suicide actually came up at a meeting last week, and you know, I was thinking about it a bit, and I just I'm trying to figure out what would make a person take their own life, and is it because this is the thing. I think when someone does that, it's not actually themselves that they want to kill, but it's the selfing. I don't think it's actually their existence they want. I think it's all the pain that's caused by the selfing. I don't know. It's just a thought I had about it, and um, I'm also very grateful for Zen Bitch Slap, and yeah, there's a lot of compassion here that I know of, that I can see. So, but I don't know. I guess I really don't have a question. That was just kind of my thought about it. Is um, yeah, that's what it seems like to me. That the selfing gets so bad um, that it becomes the only option, I guess, for some people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Well, I don't want to get that into it, but you could look at it in one way. If the act of identification is in place and what you're hearing that's driving you crazy, yes, is you, then there's no other way. If you're going to finally get relief from that, the whole package has to go. Yeah? Because the system can't entertain the idea that which is driving them crazy is not them. Yeah.
right.
And therefore, in a way, they're left with no option, in a sense. Yeah. So a lot of people in recovery kill themselves. Not a lot, but people do. And usually you know, the act of identification has sort of bonded the in and the of, yeah, and so they think what they're in, they're of, yeah, and the only way out is to collapse the in, yeah. So the head likes to take you to fuck it, for a lot of people. Usually it doesn't lead to that point, but it leads to drinking or doing drugs or acting out. And basically it's backed up by a faith that's being directed, yeah, by the mental state. And so you're taking false evidence to appear to be real. And so suddenly you're brought to a place completely manufactured, and it triggers a fuck it, and then you do something that you would never do if you were in your right mind, yeah, which is maybe drink again or jump off a bridge or whatever. Not to make a joke out of it, but there was a documentary called The Bridge that was based on the Golden Gate Bridge, and they would watch people and they try to figure out who looked like they were going to try to kill themselves, and they'd video it. Yeah. Now they weren't supposed to do it, so they were masquerading as looking at nature and wildlife around underneath the bridge, but they were focusing their cameras on people. Yeah. And then there was a book came out about it too, and one of the people that had jumped off the bridge had survived, and they asked the person what you were thinking when you jumped off the bridge, and the guy said, I was thinking how everything was so perfect except for me jumping off the bridge. So it's sort of like sometimes in a way, if that conclusion, let's say suicide didn't happen, you would be laughing about it a few seconds later. Yes? You would have seen the insanity of it. That's the whole part of being on the other side. That which can be taken to be so dramatic is seen as comedy. Yeah? A lot. You digest the information completely differently than you used to. Yeah? You're hearing the same propaganda, but it's not formulating into a view. It's not formulating into a world of false evidence. You're seeing it and the attempt in it and the failed attempt of it. And then there's humor. It's fucking hilarious in some respects, yeah? So some people don't get to that point. It ends, yeah, seemingly. But if they would have stayed and woke up, they would have been laughing like fucking crazy about that which seemingly drove them to kill themselves. Yeah?
Right.
They would laugh at that.
All right.
But you need a sense of otherness, because the sense we're in is that which is talking to me is me. Yeah? You have to have a question there. Because if that's the condition, then you're going to be led you're going to be led by thought quite a lot, yeah? And you're going to be led to a lot of overwhelms. And you're apt to do almost anything when you're in that condition, yeah? And that condition was generated mostly by the mental activity, yeah?
Right.
So it's not really what's happening, it's the interpretation of what's happening. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. Nice to see you, bro. I'm not seeing you, but you're in some kind of vehicle or something. I don't know where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, Paul. Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks. And anybody else want to raise their hand? Hey, Paul, when you read that or about that book, did it mention the campaign or the how they put up signs on the bridge where people can text for help?
I didn't read the book. Someone gave me that quote about the guy they interviewed. I thought it was pretty good.
I thought that was fascinating that people that were intending on killing themselves obviously weren't totally, if they would take up the suggestion to text, and that's actually worked and helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you just want to see it's that train can be derailed. Yeah. What's that? It doesn't, you know what I mean? Unless it can't be. I don't want to get into predetermination and everything, but,
Yeah, and it
or,
kind of goes to the thing I was saying too about it's being removed from the ones that are inflicting their concern on you. And there's this a number that you can text, right? That's more removed from that. That's kind of an opening that you'll listen to because it's not shut off by the concern that is actually of suicide. That kind of concern is like, oh, you should be worried about life, so I should be worried about you. That just confirms why wouldn't we want to kill ourselves?
Let's go to another question, if possible.
No other hands.
Well, then I can just say hello to everybody. Yeah. Yeah. I see Alan right here. Nice to see you, Alan. Clifford from Chiang Mai. Nice to see you, Clifford. John R. from near where one of my favorite places. Jennifer from Arizona. Nice to see you, Jennifer. Mary, I don't know where Mary is. I think she's in the Northwest. Yes?
I'm in Victoria, Paul.
Oh, Victoria.
Yeah, and I hear you're going to come up here, huh?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, that'd be fabulous.
I like it up there.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Lovely, lovely tonight.
Thank you, Mary.
We got Zabi. Zabi, nice to meet you, Zabi. Stay in. We'll get together. Yeah.
For sure, Paul. Thank you. I do appreciate you.
Yeah, you're welcome, bro. And we got
And I'm in
Bernard.
Oakland. Saying I'm in Oakland too, so I'm not that far from you either.
Oh no, you're not that far.
Yeah.
Bernard, how are you? Nice to see you. We got Johannes from Germany. He was one of the beginning Zoom members. Yes. Sundara, he entered a few days after we started, I think. Yeah. We got, let's see, well, who's this here? Thomas, T, Damien, Hal, JP from Vietnam. Nice to see you, not see you, but nice to hear from you, JP. Krish, we got Sagar from Toronto. Let's see who else we got here. We got Fritz. Oh, Fritz, my friend from Southern Cal. We got Robert. Nice to see you, Robert. We got
Hi, Paul.
Stefan, having never left. We
Thanks,
got
Paul.
Mr. Void, George. He's peeking out of the void, getting sucked back in. Kenneth, he's in Vancouver. Nice to see you, Kenneth. Vlad is in Russia, I think, still.
Yes, I am.
Nice
Thank
to
you,
see you,
Paul.
Vlad. Stay warm. Brahmi, did you talk with John Reed and everything? You got all that set up? All right, good.
Yeah, we've been exchanging emails. I went on and looked at it again, and it's like 12:30 at night until 4:30 in the morning here. So maybe I'll just pull some all-nighters with you.
Yeah, please. Yeah. It'll be nice. I'd like to have you there anyway.
Then I'll be there.
Thank you.
Or I'll
Yeah.
bring the card. If you bring
Huh?
the card, I'm coming.
The card will be there. The card, wherever I am, there's card. And where
That's
there's
right.
card, there's where I am there. Yes. We got John, we got Zlatko. I just saw I had a nice coffee with Zlatko today. Yes. Socially distancing, of course. John K.
Hey, Paul.
Always good to see you, John. We got Mike, we got Judith and Kerry. Yes, my little Hawaiian foundation. Skyla, nice to see you, honey.
Good night.
Good night, hon. Sanda, as always. Yes. We got Brandon, one of our music makers. Nice to see you, Brandon. We got Jenny. Jenny, where are you from? I've asked you before, I think.
Toronto.
Toronto. Oh, I go up there a lot. Hopefully, I'll go again. I
hope
usually
so.
go there twice a year.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll
Hope
come
I
see
run
you.
into you.
I hope so.
We got Gary C. coming out of the closet. No, out of the corner. Yoo-hoo.
Hey, Paul.
Gary's a great supporter of us. I appreciate it, Gary, quite a lot.
You
Yeah.
do great work.
You know what? I may get in touch with you. I may come up to Grass Valley this weekend or something.
Okay, so I live a couple hours south of play, but let me know.
I'll let you know. Yeah. All right.
Sure.
We got Linda. Thank you, Linda, for what you are always speaks louder than what you say, and it comes through loud and clear. So, yeah, there was no misunderstanding, I don't think. All right, let's see who else is here. I can say goodbye to. I can just start saying goodbye again. Let's see. No, I think that's it, bro. On here. Oh, Jennifer. Yeah, Jennifer. Hal. Yeah. Well, nice to see or not see everyone, Damien. And yeah, we're gonna start a new meeting next Tuesday at 9 in the morning for that group that's doing the retreat. So 9 in the morning Pacific time, I'm gonna do a non-duality meeting before the recovery meeting, see if it works out. So if you want, I think the information's on the website. So it will be 9 o'clock Pacific time, Tuesday, once a month, the third Tuesday of the month, just once a month. All right. And then all the other information's on zenbitslap.com. And feel free to lavish me with a lot of money. Yes, I'll humbly accept that. And just really, I really appreciate this space. It's we've participated in an interesting event. We really have. Every one of us has been a ladle in this little soup, so to speak. Yes, a little stirring of everything. It's to me, it's very, very tasty. So it wouldn't be this tasty without all the ingredients. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a beautiful, instead of chicken stock, it's got a nothing stock. Yeah. And you put everything in there. It's delicious. All right, guys. See you, Vlad. See everybody.
Thanks.
Hey,
See you,
thank
Paul.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Thanks,
Richard.
Mike.
Thank you for all the love,
Good to see
everyone.
everyone.
Yes.
Thank you,
Very
Paul.
much.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thanks, everyone.